We were so worried.
They're eating the dogs.
He wasn't making any sense.
The people come in. They're eating the cats.
And he just kept getting worse.
They did dumps. That's what they call them, dumps. Big, massive dumps.
Gross.
In Michigan and Pennsylvania. All over.
We had to do something.
They will take the life of the child in the 9th month. Even after birth, they'll execute the baby.
You sound crazy right now. Then a friend told us there was somewhere he could get the help he so desperately needed, called A Place for Trump.
Person, woman, man, camera, TV.
Now he has round-the-clock support and can enjoy the things he loves, like eating cheeseburgers and rage posting at 3 a.m.
I know windmills very much, and they're driving the whales, I think, a little batty.
Sure. So this November, let's vote to put him in A Place for Trump, because we all know he belongs in a home, just not this one.
I have concepts of a plan.
Of course you do.
That's the new ad from Congressmember Eric Swalwell. The Midas Touch Network got the exclusive to release that ad. I think that's one of the most powerful ads, if not the most powerful ad of this political season, because it shows that Donald Trump, if he were someone in your family, you would say, this person really needs urgent help, just like you saw there. What I love about Congressmember Swalwell during this election season, his ads have been fearless. Like, remember this ad during back to school time in America is what Congressman Swalwell called it. And he was like, would you let your kids around someone who behaves like this? I think just making the message simple like that sticks with me. Here, watch this.
I love you. Have a great day at school.
Dictator on day one. There will have to be some form of punishment for women.
Roe vs. Wade was terminated.
Fire, fury, bloodbath. Now get in.
You know what, honey? I'm gonna drive you today. Besides, can convicted felons even drive school buses?
If you wouldn't trust him with your kid, why would you trust him with your country?
You know, I had Congressmember Eric Swalwell on the Midas Touch Network. I interviewed him, and he said to me, he's like, Ben, if I told you, hey, can you interview my friend for a job, and I gave you Donald Trump's resume, what would you do for someone who couldn't pass a background check, was found liable for sexual assault, was found criminally responsible for 34 separate felony counts, stole nuclear secrets? Here, watch what Congressmember Swalwell says. Play this clip.
if I called you and I was like, hey, Ben, buddy, I've known you for 20 years, and I know you have a growing company, and I was hoping that you would hire a friend of mine in need, you would be like, yeah, sure. What is your friend, what are his qualifications? And I said, well, Ben, he's a convicted felon, but it's only 34 felonies, and he's a rapist. But I think you may be able to help him out. He's only been bankrupt 6 times. And Ben, I should tell you, because it'll probably come out, the last office from which he was fired, he sent his friends to violently storm it. If I told that to like any friend, as people always call and say, hey, can you consider hiring somebody? They would look at you and say, like, are you crazy? Like, no one's hiring this guy. So like, why are we going to hire him? And so again, it's just so basic. And I think we're best when we're basic in our messaging.
So then I go to you. All right, Eric, Congressmember, look, we're friends. I'll take the phone call. Thanks, Ben. So I take the phone call, and then he goes, have you seen Kamala? She's on the cover of Time magazine. I go, hang up. I mean, look, the speech earlier in the day, he's whining that Vice President Kamala Harris is on the cover of Time magazine. Here, play this clip, Jeremy.
And then they decided to get politically correct. We have to put her in. They put her in, and now they're putting her on the covers of Time magazine with an artist sketch. They don't use a picture. They don't use a picture. They use an artist sketch. I want to use that artist. I want to find that artist. I like him very much.
So play it out with me, Congressman. So he does that, and then I hang up, and then I go, Congressman, this guy, You go, Ben, just give him, you say, Ben, give him one more call. I say, Eric, I'll give him one more call. And then this is what he says to me. Here, play this clip.
And actually, she looked very much like our great first lady, Melania. She didn't look like Camilla. That's right. But of course, she's a beautiful woman. So we'll leave it at that, right?
Yeah, not getting hired is how this would go down on any phone call like that in America.
And what I love is that Congressmember Swalwell is pushing this as well throughout the congressional hearings. We've highlighted people like him and AOC and Jared Moskowitz and Jamie Raskin and Representative Garcia and others who have just been incredible during these committee hearings. But here's what Congressmember Eric Swalwell says about Donald Trump and MAGA posting these bizarre images of Donald Trump holding ducks and cats. Here, play this clip.
What in the hell is this? The chairman tweets, protect our ducks and kittens in Ohio because he goes down some crazy rabbit hole, completely debunked that aliens are eating pets? My God, are you okay, Mr. Chairman? Because last year, for a very long time, you tweeted and promoted Kanye West as he was calling for genocide against the Jews, and you kept it up. And now, when we have victims coming here, you're tweeting this nonsense. I don't know why you would do this. I hope you're okay. I don't know if the aliens who are eating your ducks are in the room with us right now.
And that brings us back to former President Barack Obama's speech that he gave recently in Tucson, Arizona, where Obama said, look, if you had a grandpa behaving this way, you'd be very, very worried. Here, play this clip.
He called himself the father of IVF. I do not know what that means. You do not either. He said January 6th was a day of love. Do not boo, vote. It made January 6th sound like it was Woodstock. You would be worried if your grandpa was acting like this. No, I'm not joking. You would, right? You'd call up your cousins and you say, have you noticed? So imagine it coming from a guy who wants to be given unchecked power. Tucson, we do not need to see what an older, loonier Donald Trump looks like with no guardrails. We have had enough of arrogance and bumbling and bluster and division. America's ready to turn the page. We're ready for a better story. We are ready for a President Kamala Harris.
One of the things I wanted to highlight as well is George Conway's PAC, the anti-psychopath PAC, and they've been doing all of these great ads about Donald Trump's cognitive decline, like this one right here that they ran in Palm Beach and Bedminster. Play this clip.
Donald Trump has never, ever been right in the head.
The late, great Hannibal Lecter. He's a wonderful man. An enormous, really an enormous. And then they announced there was no buys, no. Take a look at the oranges of the investigation.
Venezuela,
if you have a windmill anywhere near your house, they say the noise causes cancer.
I don't know what I said.
All criminal. They have voter ID. They have ID on everything. You buy a loaf of bread, you have ID. The first non-incumbent. The kidney has a very special place in the heart. We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple. Injection inside or almost a cleaner. That an illegal ad.
Learn more at psychopac.org. Anti-Psychopath PAC Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Which reminds me of the Midas Touch ad that we ran about Donald Trump's steep mental decline. Here's the short that we did. Play this clip.
And my stupid people, when I wanted to refute it, they said, "Sir, don't dignify it with a rebuttal."
Have you been noticing peculiar behavior recently in someone you know?
Carried out by rape.
Someone who mixes fiction and reality?
The late, great Hannibal Lecter. He's a wonderful man.
Perhaps someone of advanced age you have known for years.
Did you just see Maduro? Venezuela, it's unbelievable, Venezuela.
Of course, we all have our goofs. But consistently odd behavior can be a sign of frontotemporal dementia, a degenerative disease of the frontal and temporal lobes of the brain that dramatically impairs cognitive function. And there are some key signs to look out for, like slurring words.
The failing New York Times by anonymous, really anonymous.
Struggling to find the correct words is another sign.
The Mueller report, I wish, covered the oranges of the investigation.
You may also notice someone veering into incoherent ideas, detached from reality.
You know what I'd do if there was a shark or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the shark.
Or an inability to complete simple sentences.
Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat.
Other notable symptoms include impaired motor function, such as a wavering limb, and decreased balance, often accompanied by a signature lean or arched stance. If someone you know is demonstrating several or all of these symptoms, they are seriously unwell. As a matter of safety, they must be relieved of critical responsibilities and disqualified from any position of authority. Remember, frontotemporal dementia is a degenerative disease. Cognitive function will never return and will only deteriorate further. Don't ignore the signs.
How closely do you track your bank statements and credit card transactions? I honestly don't have time to do it as much as I'd like, but Rocket Money makes it so much quicker and easier to stay on top of my finances. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that empowers you to save more, spend less, and take control of your financial life. With Rocket Money, you can see all of your checking, savings, credit cards, and investments in one convenient place, allowing you to understand your spending trends. Rocket Money can help you set up a custom budget by identifying top spending categories and suggesting areas where you could adjust your spending habits. They'll calculate your monthly spending allowance and alert you when you're close to going over budget so you can save more and spend less. Maybe you want to spend less on dining out or on new clothes. Rocket Money will give you the keys to easily make those decisions. They also have a goals feature that automatically saves money for you so you don't even have to think about it. Whether your goal is to pay off your credit card debt, set away money for a house, or simply save you money, Rocket Money makes it easy. Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lower bills for you, sometimes by up to 20%. Saving money on a cell phone or cable bill and not having to deal with customer service yourself, a dream come true. Rocket Money has over 5 million happy members and has saved its users over $1 billion with a B across all of the app's features. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Get Rocket Money today at rocketmoney.com/MidasTouch. That's rocketmoney.com/MidasTouch. rocketmoney.com/MidasTouch.
One of the things that we pointed out as well is here are 3 minutes straight of Donald Trump confusing and forgetting people's names. So you see the issues that he has. Play this clip.
I think you should take a cognitive test like I did. I took a cognitive test and I aced it. Doc Ronnie Johnson. Does everyone know Ronnie Johnson, congressman from Texas? He was the White House doctor. How good did Elise Stepanek do? You know, we've endorsed Dr. Oz. We've endorsed JP, right? JD Mandel, and he's doing great. Jimmy Connors is good. He's also happy. Mike Bolton, John Bolton is here. Mike Bolton, as you know, is in Russia.
And there was progress today. I look forward to solving it.
Thank you, Steve. It was Trump's fault. It's always Trump's fault. Can it ever be like Rick Gates' fault? I mean, it's always Trump's fault, Rick. By the way, they never report the crowd on January 6th. You know, Nikki Haley, you know, did you know they destroyed all of the information, all of the evidence, everything? Deleted and destroyed all of it, because of lots of things. Like Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people. We have some of our great business leaders and leaders, period, right behind me. I may ask Marilyn Lockheed. We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple. Yes, please, Mr. Kurd.
Thank you very much for your time.
You know what was interesting? Joe Biden won against Barack Hussein Obama. Has anyone ever heard of him?
Arrest their leading political opponent, and leading by a lot, including Obama. I'll tell you what, you take a look at Obama and take a look at some of the things that he's done.
And Putin, you know, has so little respect for Obama that he's starting to throw around the nuclear word today. You heard that, nuclear.
Thanks for giving your first comments on the bill on this show. It means a lot to us. We appreciate it, sir. Thanks a lot.
You have a deal. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Joe Bright, this guy is just the worst. So will Christian ever run for president against you? And you heard the prime minister, you heard maybe have Matt Blum speak next, because he's been so incredible in so many ways. He fights so hard. He loves his state. He loves the people. Think of it, a new branch of the United States military, United States Armed Forces, called Air Force. I never talked about that. That's something we never talked about. But what we just saw, we just left pleasure. A very big hello to a place where we've done very well, Sioux Falls. Thank you very much, Sioux Falls. Thank you. So, Sioux City, let me ask you, and the worst president in the history of our country who is cognitively impaired, we would be in World War II very quickly. The worst president in the history of our country will be a fading nightmare. He'll be a fading, I have fading memory.
And then finally, I think, you take a look at everything Congressmember Swalwell did with those incredible ads, but here's, I think, an incredible moment from the Lincoln Project. They've been pitch perfect again, I think, this election season. And here's what they say. They say, this election is only 2 weeks away, and the women in your life are counting on you to be a man. Protect the freedom of your daughters, sisters, mothers, and wives. Vote Harris and Walz. And as someone who just became a father, this ad made me cry. I want you to watch it. Let's play it.
I don't want you ever to have to worry if you think something's wrong. I don't want you to worry if you have to see a doctor. I don't want a doctor to have to worry about seeing you. I want you to have the same freedom that your mom had. And I want you to make your own choices without anybody making you feel like you're wrong or making you feel guilty or having anything to say about it. That's what I want.
Thanks.
Everything else is just trivia.
On Tuesday, November 5th, vote for Harris Walz. It's too important to stay at home.
And another ad I think that gives you this type of perspective as well is this ad that comes out from AFL-CIO and Dem Voice right here, where they show union workers the types of things that Donald Trump is saying about them, and they watch and observe. No overtime pay. I'm going to take away your money. I'm going to fire you if you strike. I don't support the PRO Act. I mean, quite literally, he's against everything that union workers are for. Play the clip.
And they have a little bit, but you know what they really are? Assembly, like in South Carolina. But they build everything in Germany, and then they assemble it here. They get away with murder because they say, oh, yes, we're building cars. They don't build cars. They take them out of a box and they assemble them. We could have our child do it.
Yeah, I'd like to see him spend 5 minutes on our assembly line. He would never make it. If he knew how hard we work to put these vehicles together, he wouldn't even think about saying what he has said.
I don't believe that Donald Trump could assemble a vehicle. I don't think he's intelligent enough to assemble a vehicle. It's that simple.
Donald Trump, if you know how to do the job, you can come and join with us and we will see. You will not be able even to stand up in front of our doors in the UAW.
A child can do this job if they want carpal tunnel. A child can do this job if they want knots in their shoulder. A child can do this job if they can ergonomically pick the heavy boxes up, as they call it. A child can do this job if they can screw guns that's bigger than they are. A child can do this job if they're here 7 days, 5 days, 10, 12 hours a day.
Come on out, Mr. Trump. I will be more than happy to teach you my job.
Oh, and I should probably play this one. This is from our friend Bradley Whitford right here. And he's speaking right here in Wisconsin, in Madison. And he's like, look, what are we even talking about? Donald Trump was found liable for sexual assault. He's an adjudicated sexual assaulter. Here, play this clip.
In God's name is happening right now. It turns out that the fakest thing about West Wing was not the veneers on my teeth. It was the fact that we had rational Republicans. Can you imagine if I walked into the writer's room and pitched a character like Donald Trump? Like, okay, guys, how about this? Guy we're running against, he's a 34-count convicted felon and adjudicated rapist who found some way to declare bankruptcy 6 times after his daddy gave him almost $500 million. He couldn't even run a casino. He brags about sexual assault. He mocks the disabled. He's a draft dodger who wraps himself in the flag. And desecrates the service of our veterans who gave their lives for our country, calling them suckers and losers. A serial philanderer who claims to represent Christian values while spewing hatred and division. And spends a life violating all 10 commandments like he's playing some sort of twisted bingo game with the devil. A malignant narcissist with a pathological need to tell people how good looking he is. What a vision of manliness he is as he stands before his cultish supporters slathered in more makeup and more hairspray than a drag queen. Dancing incoherently to YMCA. And finding a way to weave his love for dictators into a bizarre admiration for Arnold Palmer's junk. It's bad writing. It would have been laughed out of the room and it would have been insulting to Republicans, but this ain't no stinking television show. The stakes have never been higher.
You know, which brings me to the types of things that Donald Trump is doing right now at his various events, like here where he spends 10, 15 minutes in his final message to the American people talking about Arnold Palmer's penis. Play the clip.
Old man. This man was strong and tough. And I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh my God. That's unbelievable. I had to say it. We have women that are highly sophisticated here, but they used to look at Arnold as a bad, but he was real.
And here, Donald Trump talking about Harvey Weinstein getting schlonged. Here, play the clip.
It's interesting. I was so amazed that Harvey Weinstein got schlonged. He got hit as hard as you can get hit because he was sort of the king of the woke, right? Yeah. And yet he got hit. And I figured that maybe he wouldn't get hit so hard. But boy, did he get, you don't know him well. I don't know him well. But I watched that and it was amazing. So
come on, folks. Come on, folks. You would not hire somebody like that. You would not let someone like that in your house. Come on, America's so much better than this. Make sure you're registered to vote. Please let me know in the comments below if you've helped register others, and if you've early voted, put it in the comments below. And let me know that you've encouraged others to early vote. Tell me your stories. Did you get lots of family members to early vote who maybe didn't vote before? I really want to hear your stories, so please share them with me. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers together. Thanks for watching.
Real quick, Meta just changed their algorithm to suppress political content. Please follow our Instagram @MidasTouch right now as we head towards 400,000 followers so you don't miss a beat.